to the sixth and final DataPoem webinar on Connected Intelligence series. We want to thank you folks that have actually been with us since the beginning of this adventure. We hope you found the sessions informative, and we look forward to hearing from you about some questions you may have, and also hearing about how wonderful the presentations are as well. So please feel free to give us some feedback on this. We'd really greatly appreciate it. For those that are new, we do appreciate you joining us today. Please, within the next week or so, we'll be posting the earlier 5 webinars. And so please feel free to go back and take a look at those webinars. I'm sure you'll find them extremely informative. And again, please feel free to pop over some questions, and we'll be more than happy to handle that. Today's session is Advanced Retail, Unified Omnichannel Shopper Marketing. And we're looking at specifically integrating shopper marketing across retailers. Well, first, let me just introduce myself. My name is Tom O'Sullivan. I'm the SVP of Client Engagements at DataPoem. And I'm going to kind of jump right in here. For those of you that are brand new to us, I'm just going to give you a brief overview about DataPoem, not too much. So about DataPoem. DataPoem is a comprehensive connected intelligence and growth planning measurement and optimization service used by Fortune 500 companies. We're designed to empower data-driven decision-making and agile marketing strategies by revolutionizing the use of causal AI and neural networks. Speaking, our presenter today is Bharath Gaddam. He's the co-founder and co-founder of DataPoem. Before we get started, I'll just give you a little brief on the overview of the engagement today. So today, we're going to look at retail media environment. And so when we look at this from the dynamic changes associated with retail media, brand marketers are challenged to optimize their spending with limited visibility. By breaking down silos between retailers and channels, we can create unified strategies that drive sales, enhance brand loyalty, and optimize marketing budgets. In this webinar today, we'll learn how to understand the power of connected intelligence, discovering how this innovative technology can revolutionize your omnichannel approach. We'll dismantle silos between retailers and channels, learn how to break down barriers, and create a more cohesive marketing strategy. We'll coordinate promotions and optimize budgets. We're going to look at some gaining insights to the effective strategies for maximizing the impact of their marketing investments. We'll deliver seamless brand experiences. We'll talk about how best practices for creating consistent and engaging brand experiences across all different touch points. With that, I'll turn it over to Bharath. Bharath, it's all yours.
Hey, thanks, Tom. Thank you so much. Thanks for all of you joining here today. I think this is a very, very interesting, buzzing conversation across any marketing team, particularly if you're a CPG client, if you are dealing with any form of retail. The word that you can't miss right now is called retail media. And retail media is both online, offline. There are online players, offline players. It's a huge, buzzing conversation going on in the organization. As with any new conversation and significant investments required, what's happening is all of it is in a very chaotic place. Let's drill down and see how we can solve for the chaos and actually make it a very, very productive and very optimal use of those resources. Let me start with the session. So all of you, we've been talking about connected intelligence and usage of connected intelligence in various use cases, from forecasting to media ROI optimization. Let's see how connected intelligence actually works in the space of shopper marketing. So right now, if you see, the present status of any shopper analytics program or shopper marketing and ROI programs. Primarily, what you see is at a top view, a very disconnected intelligence system where there are silos of intelligence across different functions and across different retailers. So let me take you one by one. So if you look at it, the first problem is in terms of having a very closed loop attribution or ROI at a retailer level, assuming that any retail media or shopper marketing is working only within that retailer, even though it's not, right? And the offline piece is completely isolated, all the offline shopper tactics, coupon tactics. And then there are online retailers like Amazon, their measurement is completely isolated. So eventually what you see is that there are these what they call channel level or retailer level uh, programs which are getting optimized within retailer, but the nature of the media and the tactics is that it is no longer just within media, but it is like any media with cross-channel synergies, and also halos that exist, right? So because of this siloed nature of measurements, what happens is that every retailer media or shopper marketing program is optimized within that program, but there is no holistic omni-channel shopper ROI or omni-channel measurement of stuff. And that goes down to even tactic level, what tactic to be used, et cetera, right? And that's where we strongly believe, the connected intelligence programs should work, where you have a unified shopper ROI, which is omni-channel in nature, where not only it takes care of traditional retailer media, direct to consumer media like Amazon, coupons or promos, all of them will have different tactics running behind it at a retailer level. And within retailer, like which is Walmart, they'll use an offline retailer media and there's an online retailer media. And within that, there are campaigns which are done within the ecosystem of a retailer, and then one which is outside the ecosystem of a retailer in terms of media, right? So unless we understand this in a totality, in a very connected manner, uh, anything that you would do will be suboptimal. And that's what we should address to kind of build it, right? So you need to get total what is a omnichannel ROI, what's the halo effect, how can we use this for unified planning and optimization so that you have the overall optimized ROI for the program and not just individual retailer level. So let's deep dive into how we're doing it. And the way we should do is, or if you have to do a connected way, fundamentally, we cannot rely on the existing statistical models where everything is isolated or measured in silos. We need to use what is called a causal AI framework, which helps to kind of unify the data sets and the different metrics of different retailers into one single unified data set. And we use what we call a deep neural network, which powers, the chat GPTs and the, Geminis of the world on language. Deep neural networks, in our case, works on time series data, right? And we use causal inferencing to kind of get what is the real causal impact of these different tactics so that you have a total omni-channel ROI, which has a very high level of accuracy. Um, so let's understand how the measurement is done and how it is unified. So when you measure shopper ROI is not working in isolation, right? It is working in conjunction with uh, media, trade, etc., right? Distribution. So unless we understand it in a holistic manner, you will not be able to get the isolated impact of shopper ROI, right? So what we do is we actually build in all the input variables across media, shopper, promo, distribution, but at a very granular level of each retailer, each tactic level, so that you can actually get the answer at each individual level, right? So the way, like we said, you take a unified data set, as like a causal model, build a neural network which takes not only the media but also shopper data in a comprehensive manner, and kind of build what is called a unified model to help you get ROI at a unified level, not just shopper ROI, but isolating all the effects, but get total shopper ROI for the brand, right? Once you have it, now you can go drill down and understand what's happening. If you look at it here, you're able to understand not only the direct impact at a overall shopper level, but what is the halo effect of shopper on the rest of the media channels or media's other drivers. So what we've realized is that almost 25 to 30% of retail media effect is happening not within the retailer, but also outside of the retailer's impact. So that is the level of ROI that you're missing, the cross-channel synergies that are being missed when you're actually building a overall shopper program, which could help you understand what is the best way of utilizing those resources and also delivering the demand in terms of how you can build a demand for the buck. So what you see here on the left is a retailer boost that you get, retail media boost that you get from direct and indirect impact. On the right side is what you see within Amazon ecosystem, how different shopper media is helping even Amazon's sales, right? So on Amazon platform, even the shopper media tactics of Walmart, Target also kind of create an impact, which is a significant impact. And that's how we need to understand uh, every retail media or a shopper marketing input not only has an impact within a particular retailer in a silo manner, but also it creates impact beyond just the individual retailer, right? Now you go a little deeper, right? So there are multiple tactics being used. Unless you understand what is the uh, tactic level at an aggregate level, you will not be able to utilize it and optimize it in a cohesive manner, right? So there are off-site banner ads, on-site banner ads, search engine marketing, all other online tactics, and then offline shopper ads, right? Unless you understand it at a tactic level and a retailer level, you'll not be able to really optimize. So in our system, what we do is we measure overall shopper ROI, then we measure tactic level ROI at a shopper program level, and then you drill down by retailer. What is the ROI at a retailer level? What is the tactic level ROI at a shop individual retailer level? So that you not only understand the overall ROI to forecast and optimize at a shopper level, but also you can optimize within each retailer level, right? Uh, and then even if you look at some of the ROIs, we've realized that the ROIs of some retailers, online retailers, are as close as some of the channels that we use, like social, cinema, digital, etc. Right? Um, so once you have all the elements of shopper, what you can do is now you can create a unified optimization system where you can actually do it on a monthly level and actually build a unified optimization system where you can optimize uh, not just the overall shopper marketing, but also deliver it at a very individual retailer level, but in a very unified way, right? This way, what helps is that you are optimizing at a strategic level, unified level across all retailers, but also optimizing within each of the retailers so that you get the maximum impact of what shopper marketing program can do, right? So that's how any we believe any shopper marketing program should kind of have a very unified view of things, but go very granular in terms of tactic level, and then we can actually optimize at a overall level, but uh, drill down to a very granular level and do it on a monthly level so that you can actually have a agile shopper ROI program. Yep, that's all, in terms of what we have. Tom, any questions?
So the first question is, you're talking about uh, siloed groups within an organization. What are some of the best practices that you've seen for people to be able to actually go in and discuss the proper approach to actually integrating all of these different silos? Is there some suggestions that you have, or there's some, ideas in which you can actually discuss with the team here to discuss how people have broken this down and actually have had these proper conversations with their management?
Yeah, see, if you look at it from a business angle, the business managers always want a total ROI of shopper, right? They don't want, hey, how much is Walmart ROI? How much is Amazon ROI? What they want is a total ROI. So business has been asking for it. And what is happening slowly, because it's an evolving medium, what happened is that earlier all of this is residing in individual retailer programs. Now what is happening is that organizations are seeing it as a starting to see a unified view of overall shopper marketing impact. And that's the first step, right? To start with saying that, hey, you cannot have a siloed program. It has to be a unified program. That's the first step. And once you have that step, then it is important to kind of unify the data across all different, retailers and programs. Uh, then have this, that's the second step. And the third step is to actually build a unified model, which is ensuring that it captures not just shopper impact, but also distilling out the other impacts of media, trade, so that you have a true shopper impact, because shopper marketing also impacts, like we said, not just within retailer, but outside retailer. So there is a direct impact and there is a halo impact of shopper you need to understand, and hence unified thing has to be done. So once you have these three steps, I mean, these three things to be done, then the rest of it is a very easy operational process, right? That's what we see organizations who are, I mean, already there are many organizations who are actually starting to do this, where they start to see it as a unified program and start measuring it, right? So that's the starting point. The intent is to be not see it as a silo, but see it as a unified program.
Got it. And I assume based upon that, if we're looking at it as a unified program, that also has an impact overall in terms of how budgets are actually distributed across the board. So
Yep.
previously, in a siloed type of world, I'm the marketer, I'm in charge of shopper marketing. I'm actually going to go, oh, I need a 5% increase overall just on a year-to-year basis. And
Yep.
that's how the business has been going, right? From a siloed standpoint. So in this situation, utilizing a unified model, that would allow me, I assume, from a budgetary standpoint, to be able to garner a larger share of budget because of my ability to be able to not only perform the shop and market arena, but also the impact that I have on other marketing tactics as well. Is that correct? Did I capture
Absolutely.
that correctly?
Absolutely. So what's happening now is that because, like I said, there are significant investments going into retail media, the component is not small, right? It's becoming bigger and bigger. In some cases, it's almost 10 to 15% or more than, or like in some cases, it's close to 25 to 30% of paid media budget, right? So it's significant money. It's like in 20, 30, 40 millions, per year. So now what the business is trying to understand is, hey, how do I optimally allocate between these different drivers, whether it is trade, media, shopper, and optimally allocate it so that they can get the maximum benefit from the unified planning and forecasting level. So if you have a unified shopper program, the best for you is to actually get the overall optimization done at business level. So you get the most impact in terms of what is shopper are doing at an overall business level, and then the allocation becomes better and better.
One challenge that we hear quite often is the inability to be able to capture the right data to include into a shopper marketing program. What steps does DataPalm go through to help facilitate the acquisition of that data, whether it be in an internal standpoint or from an external standpoint?
So what we do is that there are two things that we do. One is we actually, as much as possible, work with the uh, retail media networks themselves to avoid any human error, uh, unifying collection error, collation error. So, like we have partnership with Amazon, we work with Walmart and Target directly. So you actually get the data in a very significant manner, and then map it back to the different, ecosystems within the organization. There's a e-commerce team who is spending, then there is a shopper team who is spending. So you map it back to them. Once you have that, data coming from a single source of truth from a retailer, then it becomes very easy to align internally the different silos that are there in the organization, right? So what we do is that because we work directly with the retailers, the data comes to us, and then we actually validate the data with the internal teams. That way, it becomes a very smooth transition to the data collection and the validation process.
Another question came up regarding looking at it from a timing standpoint. In some instances, our models are actually predicated on the silo situation. We're getting it maybe once, maybe twice per year. The difficulty is retail media is moving at a rapid pace. And so it's very difficult to make, proper distinctions and proper budget allocations and assessment of performance if in fact you're getting data that's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months old. What is DataPalm doing to help clients optimize that situation?
Yeah. So, sorry, I just missed the last part of the question. You're talking about from siloed planning to forecasting, optimization, unified optimization. Is the question?
No, it's well, yeah. I mean, let's go through that. There's another part of that question, but address that, and then we'll loop back to the other question. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, when you are actually getting the budgets, it's important to understand the direct impact and the halo impact. And once you know that, it is easy to optimize the overall program, not by retailer, but by a overall shopper program, right? That's the starting point of any forecasting.
Got it. So you've addressed the situation in terms of data, and it tends to be a big hairball, right? We kind of know that. So there's a lot of harmonizing of data that has to occur. Has to acquisition and all that good stuff, right? So part of that has led to a challenge within organizations to be able to produce timely data, to be able to activate on it. As an example, so if I'm looking at it, I get a model.
Now I got the question.
Twice a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought your question actually was a very good one. So I thought let me just go off that. So that
right. So because see, it's like retail media is like any media, right? You cannot plan once in a year and then just shut it off and let it run. Yeah, there are multiple tactics like any digital media you use, and unless you're tracking it on an ongoing basis, it is very difficult to optimize the tactics, right? So two things. One, you should be doing it on a unified level, but you should be also doing it at a tactic level, at retailer level. So for example, hey, what is Walmart search? What is Walmart display? What is Walmart offsite banner delivering, similar vis-a-vis Target, vis-a-vis um Target search versus Amazon search versus, you know, offsite banners versus on-site banners of different retailers. And the most important thing is to get this in an agile manner. So that is given. The velocity of the data is the must, right? That's a given during all our conversations so far with any marketing team right now. The agility and the velocity of when the data comes in is must, like almost like marketers are expecting a monthly level ROI input so that they can utilize this intelligence to optimize these tactics in an ongoing manner, right? So we actually provide a monthly shopper ROI outputs at a tactic level so that each individual retailer level program can be optimized and hence getting overall optimal shopper ROI number.
When you look at shopper marketing, it's actually part of the whole holistic plan, right? When you think about it from a demand planning standpoint, right?
Yep.
Overall. So from that standpoint, how what would be your recommendations for a marketer in the shopper marketing group to be able to make sure that breach, right, the breach between upper management and shopper marketing is cohesive? There's always a drop off when you think about it from demand planning to down to the individual silo section. What are your recommendations? Because it's very difficult for brand marketers to actually have an impact overall in terms of what products are purchased and what strategy. But of course, if you can validate that, it's obviously a bit simpler. But I'd love to get your feedback on that.
Yeah, so that's what the whole thing starts with, if you're able to give business what is the contribution, their incremental contribution shopper program is doing to the overall business, right? And not within shopper, not within retailer. It doesn't matter, right? Then it becomes a very tactical retailer optimization, but not a holistic incremental demand driving conversation, right? So once you do a unified program, you will be able to establish that you are one of the important demand driver, incremental demand driver, and hence the strategic planning or demand planning teams have to take notice of that and have to build it into the planning cycle when they're trying to build the overall revenue management. And that's when you will actually really get the best allocation for the program's impact, as well as be part of the conversation where you are actually the incremental demand driver or not optimizing sale within a retailer, which is way below the funnel.
So what are some of the learnings that you've picked up throughout your career? You've been 20 years on the agency side, and then you've also been with Datapalm for the last 5-6 years overall. From a shopper marketing standpoint, what are some of the aha moments that you've had, or some of the learnings that you've seen off of that kind of maybe, even though you're in the agency side for a long time, that kind of said, boy, I wish I had, or this is an incredible finding. What's some of those aha moments that you've found?
Okay, so the first and the foremost, right, and this very lot of people resonate with it, is the Amazon's impact outside Amazon, Amazon advertising impact outside Amazon, right? Uh, there are studies which suggest, and including ours, which says Amazon's impact outside of Amazon can be as much as 70 to 80%, right? So Amazon is not just impacting Amazon.com, but it's impacting much more outside in offline sales and other retailer sales, right? That's like a huge moment of learning for the organization. It's not even aha moment. It is a learning of a business. It's almost kind of a building of a mental model for the organization, right? Oh, this is what happens. That's one big one. Then a lot of times when the marketeers realize that there is a halo effect of individual retailer media on the overall business, that's the other big, oh my God, we didn't realize that, right? Uh, And then the other important thing that we come across is that marketers are surprised to see that shopper marketing can have in terms of ROI as much or in sometimes more than the traditional digital channels that we know of social display video in terms of getting incremental sales, right? Uh, these are the three big things that people, almost get. They're all building mental models of retail media because of these, learnings that we see. And then we also realize that now retail media is now the other part of it, which is who is going to execute it. Earlier, it was getting executed from a trade team or a retailer team, is now moving into a marketing team, media teams, media agencies are getting involved, right? It is becoming into a mainstream media conversation, right? Where it becomes one of the channels of multiple media, like digital is one, retail media is one, traditional is one. It's becoming that, right? So from a way budgets are going to get allocated is also going to change as we talk, because it's becoming one of the channel of media, right? One more channel of media like any digital channel is. So that's the other big change that is happening, right? And there are few brands which are ahead of the curve, and there are few brands which are just getting the sense of, hey, we need to have a unified program. And there are brands which are like, okay, we have to, this is not done. We need to get to a program. So there's a spectrum of brands at different levels of preparedness. But once brands start realizing it and utilizing it, they're seeing it that there's a huge upside that we could utilize and build, right? And this also helps them to negotiate with the retailers also, because retailers also are trying to push it down the marketing side. If they have a unified measurement, they can also kind of push back the retailer saying that, hey, your ROI is so much, let's not push beyond something, right? So it's these are the 4 or 5 things that when people talk about shopper ROI. First, to get a overall shopper ROI, how is it compared to media ROI? What is the halo effect of Amazon? What is the halo effect of individual retailer programs? Um, and then how do we kind of build a overall program, and realizing that some of the tactics are as good as better than the normal tactics that we use in media and other businesses.
I'm gonna take my hat off here for a second and say, okay, what's going to happen down the pike, right? So, shopper marketing and retail media networks, one of the hottest topics right now. You can't get in the way of it, right? So, putting your I'm going to say researcher hat on, I think that's just kind of not necessarily giving you the credit that you deserve in this type of situation, but thinking about what's going to happen within the next, say, 1 to 3 years, where do you see the industry going from a shopper marketing standpoint? What do you think the opportunities are? But also, then, what are some of the challenges that they're facing as well? Think about it in like one year, maybe in a 3 year time period.
See, over 3 years, things are going to be very mature, right? They will become like any other media player, right? All the retailers will become retail media players. They'll have their own intelligence to target. Uh, Intent-based targeting will be sold by these retailer programs on the media. So 3 years down the line, it's going to be a very mature play, like how you are buying uh, a trade desk on digital using programmatic. That will become almost mature like that. Uh, in the same way, I believe that the measurement is also going to get mature. No longer people will have a siloed measurement, right? They'll have a shopper ROI program, which is measuring unified way. They're optimizing in a unified manner. It is going to be established as a significant demand driver, and hence everything from strategic level to tactical level, everything will be optimized. Um, and then in terms of execution, like I said, I believe that it'll become one of the media channels rather than sitting within either a trade program or a shopper tactical program. It will become one holistic program as marketing, as part of holistic marketing program.
Bharath, it's been actually a great conversation. I think you've kind of opened up a few eyes in terms of, not only what's coming down the pike, but what's available today, right? That's important, right? Open up some eyes. So really thank you for your time and appreciate it. For those of you that have actually been with us as part of this journey on connected intelligence, again, we thank you on this. Going through the 6 different webinar sessions, there's a lot of information. So again, I highly recommend going to the DataPoem website, datapoem.com. Within the next week, we don't have it up right now, but in the next week, please go there and you'll actually find the different webinars that are available. And please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to answer any additional questions that you have. One other point I'd like to make, we will be doing these webinars possibly on a month-by-month basis, depending upon what we get, some of the feedback that we receive from you folks. But we do feel as though they're producing some great dialogue between different marketers and also different a company such as DataPoem that's at somewhat of the cutting edge in terms of technology and the deployment of technology in a very complicated marketing world. So for that, we thank you. You have a wonderful day and take care.
Thank you all, guys. It's been a great journey for the past almost 4 weeks. A lot of learnings of how do we organize these webinars, and there are some very, very important questions from the teams. There are organizations across the board who joined us. I think it's will be a great ongoing journey as we started. This is the first step towards the longer journey that we're going to have on this series. Thank you so much. Bye.